So you're thinking of selling your small investment property. In this video, I want to go over how you can avoid making the 9 critical mistakes that many small investors make when they're selling their California small investment properties. This information could save you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars and countless headaches. Hopefully you'll feel that investing the next 14 minutes to avoid most, if not all, these mistakes will be worth your while. I want to caution you that some of what I'm about to tell you may make you a little uncomfortable, but isn't it more important to avoid these critical mistakes than for me to sit here and tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear? And it's sad how many of these basic mistakes are being made by almost all of the sellers and agents listing small multifamily properties in the Sacramento market at this time. Let's get started. Mistake number 1. I'm often asked, does it matter who you have to sell your small investment property? Don't all you agents pretty much do the same thing? The truth is, it does matter. It matters who sells your small investment property. Unfortunately, many real estate agents simply do not know what they don't know. Too many sellers make the mistake of using an agent they know instead of picking an agent who knows the dozens of important little and big things needed to get the best results for you in selling your small investment property, and to guide you towards making the right decisions to prepare your property for sale. I think intellectually many sellers know that it's a bad idea to have a primarily residential agent with little experience in selling small multifamily properties to sell their investment property, but I think that they underestimate how much of a difference it can make in your final sales price. They don't realize the value of experience in dealing with the problems that can come up when selling small investment properties, and most importantly, minimizing the potential liability through proper procedures. I've sold about 200 small investment properties in Sacramento in the past decade. I'd like to think these experiences have helped me to develop effective and efficient systems and to really understand the entire process. Mistake number 2. Don't make the mistake of pricing your small investment property only based on comparable sales. What? But isn't that how it's done? That's the ultimate rookie mistake inexperienced agents and sellers make in pricing small investment properties. The difference starts with the initial analysis. Any real estate agent who is not talking about capitalizing the current rents and making that a key part of the valuation, along with the comparable sales, is making a huge mistake. An agent who doesn't understand this concept really shouldn't be listing your small investment property, because they're not going to price properly, and clearly they're not going to understand how to effectively market that income property without understanding how income affects the value of your property. You may be asking, well, when did that start? California passed statewide rent control laws, and that changed everything when it comes to pricing your investment property. In the past, before rent control, the difference in value between a property with very low rents or a property with average rents really wasn't that big of a difference. Increasingly, investors today are understanding that properties with low rents will need to be discounted accordingly. In today's market, comparable sales often set the bottom of the market, and those properties with better rents are selling at a premium at the top of the market. Mistake number 3, not keeping your property's rents at or above the 50th percentile or average rent in the area is a critical mistake. As I said earlier, before rent control laws were passed in California, it was easy to just rapidly raise rents. But now, with the current rent control laws in place, if you don't keep your rents up to fair market value, it may cost you thousands or tens of thousands on your price. In all honesty, I have a video that teaches buyers to target this type of property for a discount. You don't want to be one of those people that are being targeted for a discount. Now, I know some will argue that they avoid turnover and hassle by keeping their rents low. To those, I would say, if you use rent comparables like the ones I'm displaying on the screen right now, and if you give those to your tenants when you are planning on raising their rents, it is very unlikely you will ever lose a tenant. If you're at around the average rent for the area, the tenants just aren't going to move. Don't assume your property manager will keep your rents at the current fair market rate. Sadly, many property managers just don't care because it doesn't affect their bottom line. I provide these reports to my clients each year to ensure that they don't make the critical mistake because it's very costly when it's time to sell if your rent are not at fair market value. Mistake number 4, not understanding the current market trends when pricing your property is a critical mistake. The thing about comparable sales is that they only tell you where the market was. It would be pretty hard to drive a car if you were only looking in the rearview mirror. I've been using trend analysis for the past 15 years or more to accurately predict where the market is headed based on local inventory trends and by monitoring national trends like interest rates and economic health. If inventories are rapidly increasing, if you're not priced at the leading edge of properties on the market, you will soon be left behind. Or if prices are going up, you may be leaving money on the table. As I'm filming this video today, I can see that the average days on the market for active duplexes is 62 days, and that the average time on the market for sold duplexes is only 25 days. This means that the majority of the market is so poorly priced that they are sitting on the market more than double the normal time it takes to sell a duplex. And during the same time, inventory has continued to build. Sadly, many of these sellers are likely not getting good advice, or some may be choosing to just ignore the good advice that they've been given. Market trends leave evidence, and now hopefully you will not make the critical mistake of not understanding market trends when pricing your property. I provide these market reports every month to my clients. You'll even find them right here on this channel. Mistake number 5, not understanding how to effectively place a property accurately in the MLS is a critical mistake. This includes putting complete MLS descriptions with rent and gross income numbers. I can't tell you how often the rent and income numbers are missing on MLS printouts for investment properties. I see MLS comments almost daily that are at best misleading and at worst outright misrepresentations. Too often, there are not enough pictures to get a real understanding of the property's true condition, or maybe worse from my perspective, using all these enhanced and airbrushed pictures. When selling an investment property, an accurate depiction is more important than a perfect presentation, since most investment properties are sold offers subject to inspection. Why would you want to waste everybody's time by making the property appear to be something other than what is there? In most cases, I also have a video walkthrough. Again, this is not an airbrushed Hollywood production. The goal is to maximize exposure and to save time by accurately depicting the property before wasting a bunch of time trying to talk somebody into not backing out later if there's something inside that they don't like when they come out and take a look. Critical mistake number 6, not advertising the property in places that serious investors are looking. Yes, any agent can put your property on the MLS, but only real investment specialists will be placing their properties on the more dedicated investor search portals. In the past 5 years, nearly a third of the investment properties I listed sold as a result of these investment portals. Many of these agents or buyers didn't even have direct access to our local MLS. I'm talking about website portals like LoopNet, Crexy, CoStar. Agents who are not using these portals to market your multifamily properties either don't know about them or are unwilling to spend the money to join these portals because they're not cheap. If you're talking to an agent about selling an investment property and they're not talking about these sites, be careful. You may be in danger of making the critical mistake of not marketing your property where serious investors are looking. Critical mistake number 7, not getting inspections and giving them to all prospective buyers up front is a critical mistake. This is one of the most important mistakes to avoid because let's face it, nobody likes surprises. You can eliminate many of the surprises that can come up by getting your own inspections up front and giving them to the buyers before they make an offer. In the sales process, before you place your property in escrow, you have the most leverage. For each day that you're in escrow, your leverage is likely to go down a little bit. So let's just deal with these property condition issues right up front and eliminate the headache. Also, if you wait for the buyer to get an inspection, you may be getting stuck with an inspector who is not quite as honest as the inspector you would have picked. Keep in mind that once a buyer hands you an inspection, you will need to disclose that same inspection and all the findings to all buyers going forward, whether those inspections have exaggerations on there or not. Now let's take a look at how different that process can be if you get your own inspections and you give them to the prospective buyers up front. Your contingencies can be short. You avoid the surprises. And when your offer is accepted, you have a lot more solid transaction. You will likely avoid most of the surprises, and you're not going to be getting beat up with unrealistic inspections 2 weeks into the escrow. Additionally, you're not going to be under some tight timelines to fix the repairs that are popping up. Getting your own inspection doesn't completely eliminate buyers from getting their own inspections, but it does eliminate them from asking for repairs later that were known and disclosed before they wrote their offer. Critical mistake number 8 is not pre-opening escrow and getting a preliminary title report up front. Recently, one of my clients' 1031 exchanges nearly failed because there was a mistake on a deed that needed to be corrected before we were able to close, and there was a really tight timeline because of the 1031 exchange. Unforeseen problems might delay an escrow if they are not proactively eliminated by pre-opening an escrow and dealing with any title issues up front. Critical mistake number 9, not preparing all your disclosures carefully and accurately in providing them up front to the buyers can be a critical mistake. Similar to the reasoning for the inspections earlier, the main reasons people renegotiate is due to either inspection property conditions or items listed on the disclosures. If there's something that is going to scare somebody off on your disclosures, it's better to know that up front and eliminate the surprises and disappointments later. Although your agent cannot fill out the disclosures for you, I think it is a good idea to review them together and make sure you understand them completely before filling them out and signing them. I'm usually present in person or on a Zoom meeting when my clients are filling out their disclosures. Failure to disclose is the most often cited reason for most real estate lawsuits. So hopefully by following these suggestions, you can eliminate most of these mistakes. So we made it. Those are the 9 critical mistakes that most small multifamily sellers are making in listing their properties for sale. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about selling and buying investment properties in Sacramento, please subscribe to the channel. Whether you're planning on selling in 7 days or 7 months, give me a call, text, email, or schedule a Zoom call. I'm happy to go over all this in more detail and to answer all of your questions and plan a smooth investment sale or purchase for your Sacramento investment property. Or to get started now, simply fill out the brief questionnaire in the description below.